Bruce comes out of the kitchen and he says, Alvin, give me your pistol.
Gargantuan black blue cloud just like billowing in the distance, and you see like cracks of lightning.
We washed the mules out of our jeans, and then we went to Rome, and then we went to Calabria. It was
wild. It felt very wild.
Yeah.
Everything is really salty. Everything's really briny. The wine is really bright and light.
It really felt like the same process as like a language preservation, that you're keeping the flavor of the wine and the sound of the language from passing out of the world. Welcome to Modo di Bere, the podcast about wine and language and the people who keep local culture alive. I'm your host, Rose Thomas. Welcome to Wine Doc Face Off, a special season of the Modo di Bere podcast, where we spill the Prosecco on all the places we've filmed for Modo di Bere TV, our wine and language travel show. I'm Rose Thomas Bannister, creator and host of Modo di Bere.
And I am Emilia and I. I am a co-director and the director of photography for Modo di Bere TV. Guys, we shot 8 seasons of this show on 3 continents, and you get to decide which season's going to air first.
Welcome to week 1 of Wine Doc Face Off. Each week, 2 seasons will go head to head, and then the ultimate winner will be the first season that we publish of Modo di Bere TV on YouTube. You vote by going to the link in the description and donating to our crowdfunding campaign for post-production. This goes to pay real people like editors, illustrators, and musicians so that we can get this show made. Introducing this week's contenders. All right, so Calabria versus Texas. They make wine in Texas.
They make wine in Texas.
Okay,
we found that out.
They make wine in Texas. So we talk about wine and we talk about language, right? So local drinks and local sayings. So Calabria, we're talking about, if you think of Italy as a boot, we're talking about the toe of the boot. The toe.
Sorry, that's going to cost you an extra for you.
The thing about Calabria is the food is really kind of a spiritual experience.
Truly, 100%.
They have these special onions. I know it doesn't sound like the most exciting thing in the world.
It was the most exciting thing in the world. I had some of the best bites of my life when we were in Calabria. The pork, they had that. Everything is really salty. Everything's really briny. The wine is really bright and light and acidic. And
the chilies. The
Calabrian
chilies.
Oh, God. Off the vine. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And, oh, my gosh. But were you eating a persimmon that just, like, exploded? That's in the trailer.
That's in the trailer. Yeah, Calabria is a place that I really, really love. I feel like it should be more on the map in Italy. We're going to talk about some of the different wine regions that they have there. We're going to drink some wine from Calabria. But yeah, we had 2 different language segments on the show. This language called Arbëreshë, which is like an ancient version of Albanian. And we also spoke to some traditional fishermen, which is a really special memory. So there's some really cool stuff in the Calabrian season, some beautiful vistas.
Oh my God. The most, it's for someone who, if this region is a little underrepresented. Like, I had never been before. I knew other parts of Italy, just going to personal stuff, but I just was blown away by the landscape, by the heat, by the ocean, by these gorgeous small towns built into these like rock walls, just like driving and seeing at night and seeing like little like lit up beautiful little tiny towns that have just been there for hundreds of years. It was just freaking magical.
It was amazing. It was
wild. It felt very wild.
Yeah.
Maybe it's funny talking about Texas too, because they have these like similar personalities.
Well, we filmed them consecutively.
We did.
When we went on the road for 6 weeks. We started in Texas, and then we flew to Rome. The day after our Western trip, we washed the mules out of our jeans, and then we went to Rome, and then we went to Calabria. Why should Calabria?
I mean, I love Calabria. I loved everything about it. This is tough, but like this might be my contender.
Are you serious? Are you going to say that every time?
I'm not. I probably will.
Yeah.
I have like very fond memories of this beautiful place. The people were so friendly. The food was so vibrant. Everything that we saw, like, I don't know, every day just felt like a new chapter of like being immersed into this like fairy tale region. It was just yeah, gorgeous. It was bright, it was sunny, it was sparkly. Like we saw wild animals. We swam in the Ionian Sea.
Oh, wait, I have to pour you some wine while we talk about this. So this is not one of the producers that we happen to visit, but it is a red wine made from Galliopo, which is a big grape from Calabria. There is a red wine region in Calabria that just this year was elevated from DOC to DOCG status. So quality wine region in Italy, DOC, and then the super fancy regions, very prized, get DOCG, that G for guaranteed. And this year, Ciro, the Classico region of Ciro, which is famous for this Galliopo grape where we spent a lot of time, was elevated to DOCG. So everybody to Ciro. Does that bring you back? I like to think that you can taste the sunshine, taste the sun quality.
Yeah.
The interesting thing geographically about Calabria, all over Italy, you've got the mountains and the sea, not too far away from each other, right? But since Calabria is the toe, it's like half the width of the rest of the boot. So the mountains and the sea are that much closer because you got half the space to deal with. You look at a map, you see what I mean. But basically everywhere we were, the vistas were the mountains and the sea
at the same time. Like it was wild.
Do you remember that view at Cantine Benvenuto?
Of course I do. We cried. We literally sat at this beautiful winery after having a gorgeous interview, and just he left us to like have a moment alone. He like knew that we needed it.
Alone with our bottle of Sabivo.
Oh, we're just like, we didn't even realize, we looked over and realized that we both had tears staining our cheeks, and because we're just so happy. It was so
think
beautiful.
We had really had a lot to overcome though too, because in the short term you had COVID and we had to push everything back.
Yeah.
And it was your birthday.
Rough. That was rough. So traveling to Calabria had its own trials and tribulations. I got sick and we had to put everything on hold for a couple days, and everyone was so nice and so accommodating, and
we stayed at the best B&B ever. And they took such good care of us. It was like it felt like Beauty and the Beast vibes, especially because we arrived at night in the rain and the gates opened up, and then we had to stay for a while. We were their guests. They fed us really well. And there was a birthday party, like a rager on your birthday for like a local 18-year-old. They had fireworks.
There was a pony.
Yeah. Was there a pony?
There was a pony.
There was a pony.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was too busy doing the worm or whatever dances we were doing, wearing party hats with the Calabrian 18-year-olds. It was amazing. I could go to the party, but you were stuck in your room.
But you guys sang to me outside my door.
We did. Nice. We brought you cannolis. Yeah.
That was nice.
Tanti auguri, Emilia. Tanti auguri a te.
I remember there were also fireworks the night that they invited us to Max, this beautiful historic restaurant with this like archaeology cuisine. Mm-hmm. We were told about it that we needed to talk to the people there, and they invite us in the kitchen to cook the local dishes.
Unbeknownst to us.
The pipe patates.
Yeah.
Right.
Gorgeous.
The potatoes and peppers, and then you had that bite of shrimp.
Like raw shrimp, like literally that was
shrimp,
being
chilies.
peeled in like a basin of salt water, and literally the chef peeled this shrimp, made me open my mouth and popped it in, and there's photo.
That's quite a photo of
that reaction.
Tua esperienza. Così adesso puoi capire, puoi capire qual è?
What are you feeling?
Like I might faint. It's that good. Gorgeous, beautiful.
Buono. Buono. Visto?
We did 2 really cool local language segments for Calabria. One was in this town, Corigliano. They had a lot of Arbëreshë speakers, which is a version of Albanian that came from people who came from Albania to this part of the world a long time ago. And we went into this amazing church where half of the church was Byzantine and half of the church was Roman. And we talked to Michele Librandi, who's an olive oil producer, and like the local priest about this Arbëreshë language and culture, which was so fascinating. So that's just the kind of local language story that we like to cover on the show.
Totally.
You know, the idea is that the local language is also a part of the sense of place that is kind of what wine is all about, in that biodiversity and the linguistic variety. So then, if you guys remember season 1 of the podcast, episode 4, with Pepe Voltarelli, who is a Calabrian singer, and he sings in the Calabrese language. He has this song about the marinai, the mariners, the traditional fishermen who go out against all the odds every day in wooden boats. All the economics have changed, the world is changing, and still there are these people who go out in wooden boats. It's not that safe, it's really difficult. We went to the beach in the morning and talked to the traditional fishermen who still go out in wooden boats.
With
and
some lovely help from our friend Monica, who
yes,
was the one
Monica.
who told us where to. She's like, this is where the people are. This is where you're gonna go find the people if you're up early enough with the fishermen.
Oggi
Ma qua-
pesce, casa pesce.
Pesce, casa pesce.
A me anche ieri mi hanno portato dei merluzzetti, oggi i merluzzetti fritti. Bella sono, bellissima.
We met this old man who didn't even speak Italian because he only spoke his town's version of Calabrese, which was so amazing. That was a really special experience. And I still follow some of the fishermen they call it Ticky Tocky. I still follow them and I get to follow their catches. So I really think that you might want to meet some of these people too.
They certainly want you to meet them. They were very, very, they were not camera shy. They were at the beginning, but then they were like, oh, no, this is like, we want to show whoever is watching, like, they want to, like, learn our language, get to know us. Like, this is who we are.
The videos from that beach with the fishermen too that we have published on social media were some of the most successful social media videos that we'd ever had. In general, the stuff about Calabrian language, the Calabrians out there around the world really want to see that. So if you're a Calabrian, if your family's Calabrian, you might want to vote for Calabria. On the other hand, there's also Texas.
There is also Texas.
I've got a really special spot in my heart for Texas.
Yeah,
for Texas. Oh wait, we've got to pour the Texas wine.
You're rooted. You're rooted.
Did you know they made wine in Texas?
I didn't until we got there.
They do make wine in all 50 states, and Texas is really up and coming. And I learned about that from Shelley Wilfong, who was also a former podcast guest. And she has a podcast called This is Texas Wine that really got me interested in going to Texas. So sometimes, I hear about a place and I'm like, hey, let's put that on our list. So we visited several winemakers, including this one, who is Ray Wilson from Wine for the People.
Hey, Ray. We miss you.
Really impressed by these wines. Also beautiful cover art.
Cover art. But also every bottle has a quote from a famous woman figure. Right?
Ooh, what do we have in this one?
We are all part of one another by Yuri Kochiyama.
Cool. All right, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's very true. All right, cheers to Texas wine. So we visited several wine producers, including one Colossi Cellars who's making Toroldigo, an Italian grape.
Yes.
Really interesting. And what's interesting about Texas wine is the region that is high enough elevation to grow grapes because of the daytime, nighttime temperature shift is out in the high plains, like in the Panhandle. And that's quite far from where everybody goes on vacation, which is the hill country. And that's where all the wineries are. So it can be kind of a mark of quality in some regions to have estate bottled wine where everything's really close together. But actually, just logistically in Texas, They grow the grapes on the high plains. They harvest them in the middle of the night and then cold truck them in, which we got to see, right? One of the producers that we got to see, historic producer, we got to actually see their beautiful
process.
Dan, right?
Yeah.
That was really cool. And they had this fancy machine. But yeah, to sort the grapes. But then the wineries are mostly made in the hill country, which is also a well-known region for Texas German, which is a dialect of German. People, before Germany existed as a country, people were escaping kind of feudalism, basically, and came to Texas in the 1800s. And the German that they
pioneers,
spoke...
proper pioneers, have traversed the country to get to this part of Texas on wagons.
Right, on wagons. I mean, that's what they had, right? And then the version of German that they spoke didn't develop along with German in the old country. So it took on words from the new country, different words for animals, any technology that didn't exist at the time, the word's going to be different than German. And also, interestingly, county to county in Texas, you still see the people that we met and talked to about this and played dominoes with at the old schoolhouse. They told us that county to county, you still see the variations of where their ancestors came from in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So that's astonishing. Unfortunately, the last real speakers of Texas German are in their 80s. Yes. So it is not looking good for Texas German to be revitalized, but there is a lot of warm pride there in that culture, and we do still have some people of younger generations who at least understand a little bit, and there are actually some new groups of people getting together to speak Texas German, which is its own special version of German, its own language, its own endangered language. So that was really special.
That's also the through line kind of not just Texas, but also most of the regions that we visited, is these are languages that are going extinct, and the people that still are hanging on to them are in their 80s or older, are passing down what they can to their kids and their parents to their kids. And it's been interesting to see people that can speak a language fluently to the next generation. They can say a few words and they understand, and then their kids, they understand it but they can't really speak it. And I relate to that just with my Persian family. I thought that was really interesting, being around that and seeing it, and it resonates no matter where you're from.
What would that look like for you now if you were gonna try to make Farsi part of your life? Or what have some people in your generation done who speak to recover that skill?
I think you have a heads up already because you understand the cadence and you've heard it growing up your whole life. You understand it. You can take direction really well, and it should hopefully, and it has. I can put sentences together, but I think it just takes getting in a classroom and just keeping practice up. But that's not a necessarily easy thing to accomplish when you're a human that is living and working and.
Yeah, and when it's not essential to the workings of your everyday life and your economics and your relationships, if it's not essential, then it really requires a lot of effort to try to make it, to try to put in as much. And so, I actually learned from a recent season 4 episode from Dr. William Cisolino. We'll talk about his part of Italy a little bit later. He said something like two-thirds of the world's languages are endangered. So biodiversity, guys, it's really important. And that's really what this show's all about, because what I saw as a wine professional for so long was these people championing these local grapes. Really felt like the same process as a language preservation, that you're keeping the flavor of the wine and the sound of the language from passing out of the world. So that's what we're so honored to be able to do when we do things like document the Texas German speakers playing dominoes. It's like an oral history project in a way, right? And that was really special.
All right.
Thank you. Joe, you want to introduce yourself? Tell me where you're from and about the dialect.
Okay. I'm Joe Yansky. I'm from here. I was born and raised here, out just about 10 miles, a little bit east of here in the Nebkin community. I did not know how to speak English till I went to first grade. I don't remember that it was real hard for me to learn English. There's always a few words. To this day, I have to think real hard when I want to say head or hat. In Gillespie County, the dialects are so different. In the Pecan Creek area, which is northwest of Fredericksburg toward Dawes Harper area, I can notice how differently they pronounce words.
Another really special way of speaking that I was really excited to document is Alvin and Bruce.
Oh my gosh,
a
cowboy,
3T chuck wagon.
Yesterday, we went down yonder and caught them yellow catfish.
You ought not have done that because you probably didn't have no fishing license.
Never had one. I ain't never had a damn fishing license.
Well, why'd you do that? I said, because the shit's getting deep in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this like West Texas kind of rancher language out on the high plains in the Panhandle.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Kittiquay, Texas, near Silverton. So beautiful, right? Like these mesas and this beautiful rock formations.
Sorry, I'm like just
remembering.
I'm just remembering how gorgeous it was. Like these plains, this wildlife that exists, like the red soil, the red dirt that's still caked on some of my boots. Being able to see for miles and miles and miles and miles. There's a joke about a tumbleweed. Like, what did Bruce say?
Oh, it was if your dog runs away, you can watch it go for a week. Yeah.
Oh, and there's just like, it's quiet beauty. It's quiet, like serene beauty.
And Alvin and Bruce, they love where they're from.
Yeah.
They
They're proud
love
to tell it,
Silverton, Kittiquay, Texas, and they
got stories.
They got stories, and they have this. Everybody that we met out there has this incredibly creative way of speaking, and it's not so much even that people pass sayings around, even though I think they do, but I got the impression that it's almost just such a creative way of speaking that everybody kind of comes up with their own dialect in a way. Like it's like this cowboy poetry thing or something. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like, and Bruce, he's a family friend. He's kind of like my uncle. He's like a good friend of my dad's. He's got this beautiful mustache. I'll ask him how he's doing, and he'll be like, "I'm up to my ass in alligators." So we'll have to show you a little clip of Bruce talking, so you can see why I wanted to come to.
He's going to be
Texas.
a character on the show. Don't worry, you'll get to meet him.
Well, if you hung over, you wake up in the morning, your teeth will itch.
Okay, so we gotta talk about the dugout briefly. So Alvin and Bruce have a chuck wagon company, which is this old like kitchen wagon. They wanted to give us this chuck wagon cooking experience, so they cleaned out this old dugout at this ranch, and we stayed there just in the middle of nowhere. They made a shower for us out of like giant plastic water containers, kind of zip tied together with a hose. We didn't have a bathroom. We didn't,
but they constructed like they made a toilet out of like a bucket with kitty litter. And there's a toilet seat on it.
Oh yeah, and the actual rancher who like owned the property came and like put the lid down and sat on it.
Yeah.
It was a commode. Yeah, he said it was like the best seat in the house. Anyway, I don't think either of us actually got the guts to like use the commode. Except during that thunderstorm. I did actually pee in the commode.
I just found a way to I just held it.
There was this storm.
Yeah, that we saw off in the distance. We saw it was like Zeus like appear, this giant gargantuan purple black blue cloud just like billowing in the distance, and you see like cracks of lightning, and you'd see like you're like, is this, I don't even care if it's coming towards me, like I am in awe at how beautiful it is. And it was a thunderstorm miles away. It didn't come anywhere near us, but we could see it. We got to admire it, and just like it was a beautiful star-lit sky where we were, and we could see this event happening, like in the distance. It was,
As a cinematographer, how does that rank, that lightning that you get to shoot in the things that you've captured?
yeah, that was really special. That was special to witness as a human. Then it was really, really awesome to like bonus to be able to get that on camera.
I really loved witnessing the friendship between Alvin and Bruce, who've been friends since they were little boys, and just how they wanted to share like their mules and their wagon. And it was just like, please come to Texas and let us show you our mules and our wagon and cook some steaks on the fire and teach you how to make biscuits.
Biscuits in the cast iron.
The first night we got there were these visiting hunters and this beautiful sweet corn. And I was like being a sommelier with the sweet corn. It smelled so good. And then Bruce comes out of the kitchen. For some reason, there's this kind of spaghetti western dramatic music playing in the radio in the kitchen of the dugout. And he comes outside where we're all sitting around the fire, and he says, "Alvin, give me your pistol." And Alvin gives him his pistol, and we're like, what's going on? And there's this trash box. The trash is kind of
Rumbling about a bit.
And I was like, Bruce.
We thought it was a snake.
Is that a snake?
We thought it was a snake.
And he shoots into the box, and the trash goes silent. He says, "It was a mouse." So you can get an idea of the types of wildlife adventures.
Wildlife and wild people.
You know what was interesting, though? Of all the wonderful hospitality that we've experienced doing wine trips all over the place, that dugout
was really special.
I felt like
We've seen
the red carpet.
Yeah. That was a red carpet experience. You could stay in a 4-star hotel, but it has nothing on the dugout.
It was about the people.
It's about
the experience that they wanted to have.
The pride that they took in it.
And they wanted us to experience this kind of living history of this whole chuck wagon dugout experience. And I came home with a couple of hats.
And a couple stories.
Just a couple. Wow, this is a really hard choice.
I know. Good thing we don't have to make it.
So that's where you come in.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is all up to you now. We're gonna need you to make this vote. You're gonna have to go to the link, you're gonna have to donate, and then you get to vote. Once you donate, then you get to make your vote. Cast your vote, let us know who your favorite is, and hopefully your choice wins.
And then next week, the winner, which we'll announce on Instagram Live, will advance
to the next round. So the fate of these 2 seasons of the one that's going to advance into the next round is in your very capable hands. Thank you for making this decision for us. It's like we need some help.
And thank you for being delicious people who appreciate delicious things wherever you go and whatever you like to drink. Always remember to enjoy your life and to never stop learning. I'm sommeliering the corn. Notes of fresh banana bread. You want me
salt away, and I do.
You want me to video you tasting it?
Give me your pistol. Give me your pistol.
Wait.
Is there a rattler in there?
Shit.
I've seen this son of a bitch. Oh, goddamn, he'll be a kid for you before you can get it out. No doubt.
I think it's a snake.
Yeah, you little son of a bitch.
Was that a mouse or a snake?
It's a mouse.